Hello heroes, Joe Smith here. There's been another mass shooting in America. Yes, another mass shooting in America. There's been a lot of them so far this year. This time, 9 black kids between the ages of 12 and 17 were shot at a birthday party in Louisiana. Did you hear about this? Did you guys hear about this? 9 black kids were shot at a birthday party between the ages of 12 and 17 when 2 shooters showed up that were uninvited, that nobody there knew, and just started shooting the place up, or started shooting at each other and started shooting the place up or something. Did you guys hear about this? One 14-year-old was a boy, I think it was, 14-year-old boy, I think it was, shot in the head. 17-year-old shot in the stomach. 9 people total were shot. All black kids between 12 and 17. He's like Micaiah Bryant's age range. You know how many people are protesting and rioting that Micaiah Bryant, 16-year-old or that, was shot by police while she was trying to stab a bunch of other people whose lives did not matter, apparently, whose black lives did not matter. Well, everyone was going nuts over her getting shot by the police. Well, have you guys heard about this? Don't know why you haven't heard about it, because it actually happened 2 weeks ago. Happened 2 weeks ago. If you haven't heard about it yet, don't know why you haven't heard about it. These 9 black kids, Micaiah's age, were shot 2 weeks ago. And guess what? None of the mainstream news media has even reported on it. It never made the news. Because guess what? The shooters were black. It doesn't fit their narrative. No way they can race bait it. No race baiting with this story. It's just another story, like the thousands every year. Blacks killing black. 2 black shooters apparently were also teens. Heard about the party. Each one decided to crash it, and they didn't like each other apparently. And when one showed up, and then the other showed up, and guess they were rivals, so they started shooting at each other and started shooting other people too. Just another black gang war broke out. 9 innocent bystanders, black kids, 12 to 17, were shot. Luckily, nobody died, apparently. They said none of the injuries were life-threatening. Everyone's in the hospital, still alive, apparently. So, luckily, nobody got hurt. You know, maybe if the 2 black shooters had better gun control, then none of the innocent bystanders would have been shot, but apparently they can't control their guns and keep their shots on target, so 9 people got hit by stray bullets because there's no gun control in the black community. Joe Smith just heard about this through turns out another black guy who's ashamed of people in his race, that has his own YouTube channel that actually reports on these shootings that black people do that the news don't report on, because he's actually a true American, a hero, a conservative, a Republican, and not one of this liberal leftist Democrats brainwashed zombies. And he said that he's ashamed of the kids that belong to his race are out there having all these knife fights and gun fights. Said learning skills and gain jobs and careers and educations and making money like a normal person would do. He even said that a lot of the black community has a double standard. Not going to mention his name, but if you do some searching on YouTube, you can probably find him and the video he did. He actually seems like a really nice guy. This type of guy that Joe Smith would like to be friends with and hang out, chat with, have beers after work, whatnot. He actually seems like a super cool guy that's down to earth, admits what's really happening, says he's ashamed of what's really happening. But, you know, it's like there's bad apples of every color. So, don't know if there's just more bad apples of a certain color, or if the news only reports on the bad apples of that color and don't report on the bad apples of other colors. Maybe because the news is trying to start a race war or something, so they can create riots and have more riots to cover, because the ratings go up when they cover riots. So I guess MSM is trying to create riots so they can cover the riots, so they can have better ratings. And the ratings go through the roof when they overthrow democracy. So yeah, there you go. Mass shootings are taking place every week in America, and you never hear about them because the shooters are black and the victims are black. And the fact that the MSM only reports on when a white cop shoots a black person and doesn't report on when a black person shoots a black person, that's racist. That's a definition of racism. That's proof of systemic racism in America. So yes, we have systemic racism in America. It's perpetrated by the liberal left, the Democrats, and the MSM. And apparently by the blacks themselves too. So there you go. The only racists in America are blacks, liberal news media, and Democrats. But then again, the Democrats were always racist because they're the Confederates of the South. They're the slave owners of the South. They were the ones that started the Ku Klux Klan. So there you go. Once a racist, always a racist. Democrats are the racists in America. Trump was the most anti-racist president we ever had. Just like LBJ once said, I'm going to have these N-words. He actually used the actual word. I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. He actually didn't care about them. He thought they were worthless pieces of crap. But he figured if he gives them voting rights and passes N-word bill, as he called it, then he can get those, as he called them, N-words, to align with the Democrats for the next 200 years. And he was right. LBJ was right. He got blacks to follow the Democrats for the past 50 years or so, and probably for the next 150 years. It's like the story goes, Stalin once took a chicken from a bunch of people plucked all the feathers out of it, put it down on the ground. The chicken was in pain, was bleeding all over. But then Stalin threw some chicken feed, some food on the ground, a little bit here and there, and started walking away, tossing a little bit more behind him as he walked away. And the chicken kept following him, and Stalin said, "See, here's proof. No matter how much pain you inflict on these idiots, as long as you throw them a worthless snack now and then, or worthless benefit now and then, they'll follow you no matter what. No matter how bad they hurt, they'll still follow you, as long as you just toss them a little worthless benefit now and then." And that's what socialists believe and what Democrats believe. So if you're a Democrat watching this, live in poverty, well, don't worry, you'll keep living in poverty forever, as long as you align with the Democrats. But you'll be happy with it as long as they advertise they'll give you free healthcare, free college or something. Even though healthcare college you get is worthless compared to paid versions. That's just how the Democrats got you brainwashed into zombies. And that's why nobody's reporting on these mass shootings. They're committed by blacks. Where only black people are victims. And it's been Joe Smith. Sign out.